Hey guys, so I felt called to do a reading. This collective, I feel, is struggling with some sort of substance addiction. Specifically, I was getting Coca-Cola, if you catch my drift. And I don't know if this is recent or this is something that maybe an anniversary is coming up for you or something. The song that's important is MGK Treading Water. I keep hearing the part, the beast killed the beauty, the last petal fell from the rose, and I loved you truly. That's why it's hard to let it go. I broke this home, but I'll change for our daughter so she's not alone. Oh, what a life to live when you're dying for someone to give you their love. So I don't know if there's like a family unit that seems to be kind of like inspiration for this person to want to get themselves together. I feel like there was definitely some sort of big wake-up call. This could have involved jail. This could have involved rehab. I just feel like there's something about like a second chance or like this fresh energy that feels like it's like you almost lost it all. Like truly, there was a big wake-up call. There's also something really important about a fake account, a fake name, a fake person, like something about the name Jose. This could be San Jose, Jose Cuervo. This could literally be a person named Jose, a fake account under the name Jose. But something about that is important. Also, somebody really likes somebody's booty. And there's something about I can't hear you through your thighs. There's also something very important about a dirty dealer, the house playing dirty. There's something where somebody made a bet about somebody and they didn't realize that somebody was like playing dirty by hiding cards from them. Take that in whatever way it means, but there is something that you put your trust into that was built on complete lie. And if it's not you, it's somebody that is connected to you that we're going to be talking about. So let's get some openers. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but sure. So somebody's definitely closing out some toxic cycles here. We got air sign energy on the bottom of the deck. That's going to be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? Somebody, oh my gosh. Doesn't he, wait, I'm like throwing cards here. Doesn't he say when you, oh, what a life to live when you're dying for someone to give you their love. Yes, okay. That is very important here, okay? Somebody feeling like they need love right now. I feel like this person got caught up and this could have been in their past. I said something, oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, hold on. Oh my God. Okay, so Avery said this today and I had never heard the sound before, but now I keep hearing the sound trending everywhere. Slow down, Savannah. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening all at once. ADHD could be really bad right now, especially if you are coming down from something or like not having a substance to be able to like deal with maybe the side effects of that. I don't know. Somebody ran though, but they like whatever has happened for them has truly opened their eyes to something. Like whatever situation, this feels like, if it's not like a coming to Jesus sort of moment, this feels like somebody was on the brink of like an end in some sort of way, but this catapulted them into, oh my God, I didn't even realize in my notes there's something about one life, live it. Okay, this feels like somebody that like had a near-death experience. I'm gonna be totally for real here, trigger warning possibly. But whatever this did for them, this made them realize that they don't want to run from themselves anymore. They have to deal with whatever this is that is holding them back. They no longer want to keep themselves stuck in the past. There was some sort of moment that like shocked them into whatever this awakening represents for them, in order for them to get into their higher self, in order for them to look at the journey and the path that they are currently on, and whether or not it is getting them and catapulting them into their highest self, into their most divine being, right? And they're realizing that like the people and the things and whatever this was for them was completely toxic. Okay, snakes could be relevant as well. I feel like whatever this is that happened, this could be something that like other people know about, and this person's really worried about this information getting back to you before they can have a conversation with you. I feel like this person is experiencing heavy paranoia right now as well. I feel like their third eye is really expanded, so there could be like a little bit of psychosis going on, a little bit of delulu they might be feeling, whoever this person is though, but they're done running. I feel like this person feels very vulnerable right now. They feel very exposed. They're learning and realizing a lot of things that like they were numbing out and not paying attention to. They're going through a huge ego death when it comes to themselves and the situations where they may have been toxic, because typically if you're using a substance or you're addicted to very toxic things and you're letting those things run you as an addiction, you're usually doing things that are centered around toxicity around said addiction, like lying, using, whatever that means. Okay, and so this person is definitely going to be like going through the realization that they may have been the villain in a story. Okay, I feel like this person's really worried about people talking about them right now. Something about the spring is going to be very important, but again, the spring, it being under that, this person is really struggling. Like whoever you are, they're having a hard time, like they were having a hard time being around you because you made them realize a lot of things about themselves. And I feel like now this person they're trying to get out of that victim mindset, and they're like blaming themselves right now. There's nothing wrong with what the cycle that they're going through currently with this, okay? There's a need for them to step into that judgment energy where you really look at yourself, because if you actually go through the steps of looking at the things that you've done, you will be able to give yourself forgiveness, which at the end of the day is probably one of the most important things that we need in order to push us into a better energy. We need to understand forgiveness of ourselves so that we know how to offer others forgiveness. Because if we understand why we did the things that we did and the place that we were coming from, we can understand why somebody else might make those decisions and be able to forgive them if they are in the energy that we are taking ourselves in, where we're trying to make ourselves a better person. We're trying to make amends. Because I'm sorry isn't just words. I'm sorry, or I'm asking for forgiveness. It requires action, right? It requires amends to be made, right? So there's something about this person like having to step into that energy where they step out of the victim mindset of why is all this happening? Why did I do this? Step more into the energy of what can I do to fix this? And now I'm hearing something about like, I can fix that, whoever this is. But the spring is about that rebirth energy, that fresh new energy, the second chance that I was talking about, okay? Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Somebody is very attracted to this collective. Whoever you are, though, as Queen of Wands energy, whether that's you or this person, you are somebody that people watch and pay attention to, and they think of as spiritual and free and passionate and vibrant. Like, whoever the Queen of Wands represents here, I'm going to talk to them as if it were you, okay? This person views you as somebody that they would be able to go to in order to receive support, especially emotionally, and maybe spiritually as well. There's something about, like, they view you as, like, a cheat code or a guide, and they view you as somebody that they can trust when it comes to asking for advice or a listening ear as well, is what I'm hearing. I just kind of want to see what this situation is that's got this person anxious. The Fool being on the bottom of the deck, as I started this out by saying somebody is getting like a second chance. They're getting a brand new beginning, a fresh start, okay? And we have been talking about in the last couple of readings how going back to the beginning is really important. The Fool is 0. This is the Fool is what starts the whole journey. It's the Fool's journey, right? And how you start and the cycles that you go through to get to the finish. There is something about a competition energy, okay? Something that I was talking about when it came to like those basically poker references is what I was giving. But when it comes to that situation, I feel like there's just something about a competitiveness between you and somebody. There was some sort of fight that this person got into. In whatever way that means, this could be some sort of verbal altercation. But there's just something that this person felt like they had to fight their way out of. With the Eight of Wands being in reverse, this could have been a really unruly conversation is what I just heard, but this could also be representing like a mini tower moment. So a slight scare for whoever this person is. And they're currently in a period of rest and healing. With the Four of Cups being inverted, I get the indication that this person is definitely trying to heal themselves and get themselves out of an episode of depression. With the Five of Pentacles being in reverse, there is some sort of access to help, okay? So this person is definitely getting the necessary tools in order to be able to pull themselves out of whatever the situation is, okay? I also feel like that's an indication that this person is no longer going to be leaving some situation in the cold. With the Six of Wands coming out, again, I'm going to say that I feel like there's something that has been, like, shown about this situation, okay? Maybe family knows about it, and somebody feels a lot of people talking about them, and they're really worried that you're talking negatively about them. One of the videos that I saw today that they're kind of bringing to my mind is changing the narrative that you hold in your own mind, okay? Because just as quickly as you can assume that something bad is being said or had, you can also, in turn, just live in a land of Delulu and assume that people are looking at you, or it looks like they're whispering about you because they think that you're awesome. They think that your fit is hard. They, like, changing the narrative in your head and, like, really thinking of yourself in a higher light instead of assuming, and you could be wrong, but who cares? If you don't find out, like, it doesn't even matter. But in your mind, you're going to be having positive thoughts about this person, because the reality is that you don't actually know what they're thinking or saying or what is going on. So it's not really fair of you to have a negative thought about that, because that might not even be what is going on in that person's head, right? And so your assumptions are more based off your own perception of yourself and what you would be thinking if you were them, or what you think about yourself, your own insecurities, right? So there's something about, maybe you just saw that video or something, but somebody here I feel like is really having to, like, retrain and rewire their brain. I just lost all ability to speak, okay? Which is funny because we're talking about air sign energy, right? And air sign is definitely, like, about communication and, like, words and all of that. So I feel like somebody is really trying to gather themselves and try and change the narrative of how they think about themselves or a situation or whatever. I feel like that plays a big part into that anxiety and depression that I was talking about here, okay? I feel like this person may be overcoming some sort of, like, rejection wound, or, like, caring what other people think. I feel like this person is going through a really transformative period right now that's kind of, like, resetting everything, okay? Whatever this is, I feel like is currently happening with this being inverted. So if it feels like it's stagnant right now, or like you're feeling like a sort of disconnect, I feel like it's because there are things happening that you're not supposed to see right now or be a part of, okay? I feel like there is a big achievement and victory in this situation. Whoever this person is, there is definitely moving into a better energy for you guys. I feel like whoever you guys are, you're about to really experience a high volume of love is what I just heard. But that Ten of Cups energy is just somebody that I feel like is finding home. They are finding a lot of fulfillment in life. They're realizing that they want to live this life. They're realizing that they want to live this at the fullest that they possibly can. So they want to heal these things about themselves. Maybe they're realizing that the family unit is like something that they want, right? Anything else before we close this out? Anything on what this person is trying to heal from? What do we have sticking out here? This person is really trying to close out this toxic cycle. They are realizing that they have been surrounded by toxicity here. Okay? I feel like this person feels like they've lost everything. They could have lost a job in this situation. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles being in reverse. And then we got the Hangman, which I said, you might be feeling like there's some sort of stagnant energy or some sort of pause, okay? There's a need for whoever this person to really take a step back. They had to take a step back. I feel like this person feels like they really lost it all, okay? So they may be coming to you because they feel like they need a friend right now. Like I brought up at the beginning of this, it feels like someone is in this energy of this person wanting to come to you for some sort of guidance, for some sort of advice, for some sort of companionship. What's crazy though is I talked about at the beginning of this, there's something about gambling, okay? And the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles being in reverse, also with the Devil, heavy indication that somebody took a gamble. They took a risk on something that was not going to pan out, okay? Whatever this was a bad bet. It was a bad call, okay? And I feel like this person really feels this loss right now when it comes to whatever this represents. Again, they could have lost jobs. They could have lost homes. They could have lost friends. I feel like this person lost in some sort of way. Hangman is about trying to take yourself out of a situation in order to find realignment. I'm so upset it stopped recording, you guys. So I talk about how the Hangman is somebody that understands that they need to change their perspective, okay? The way that they look at things, the way that they look at the world, the way that they look at themselves, which we already talked about that, right? And they understand that there are going to be sacrifices, or they're finding out that there are sacrifices that have to be made. And a lot of times, while it might feel like a sacrifice initially, you realize that the thing that you sacrificed was usually the thing that was holding you back in the biggest way. Okay, and I talked about how somebody has like a glimmer. They have a glimmer of hope. There's something, whatever this Ten of Cups represents for them, it feels like something that they have foreseen. Whether this be a person, a thing, there's just something that I feel like this person is planning for. Okay, and as I'm talking about that, I literally got the Queen of Wands, the Wheel, and the Star come out, okay? Which I talked about already. There is someone in this collective that somebody feels like they can look to, especially for guidance, especially for spiritual help, okay? There is somebody that they feel like they can lean on, and this person isn't going to be judgmental. This person is going to, like whoever this Queen of Wands represents in this energy, this is somebody that like you understand now, you're confident enough and you're secure enough in yourself that you understand how to shine your light without giving it to somebody else, but instead inspiring them to shine their own light, okay? It's like that quote from the basketball movie that I talked about where he asks, what's your deepest fear? And he talks about how like most people's deepest fear is actually basically being authentic, being vulnerable, being themselves, because they're afraid of like judgment, even though if you open yourself up to being authentically yourself, you then transfer that energy to make somebody else want to be that, right? That's whoever this represents for this person. They see that. They see your light, okay? And you've reawakened some sort of hope in them. There's some sort of rejuvenation in this energy. There is a really big transformation, and whatever this is completely fated and divinely guided. And I kid you not, okay? When I was shuffling, we got the King of Swords and Justice that came out, okay? While I feel like there was a situation or a circumstance that really awakened this person to this situation, okay? I feel like if this was something that happened in the past that this person is kind of reflecting on, and the fact that it got them to this point, because what the indication that I get, especially with the wheel coming out with this stuff, I feel like whatever this was, this person kind of like gave up on themselves. Like, I get this sense of this isn't their first rodeo. So this person may know that they have this addictive quality about them, right? And I feel like there was this sense of this person kind of just gave up on the thought of whatever this represents for them, whatever they feel like would bring them the most fulfillment and satisfaction and stability in their life. I feel like this person had kind of let that thought go, but there was something that came into their life that re-brought this up to the surface. And I feel like that's part of the reason why this person may have experienced this anxiety around whatever the situation is and ran, but they realized that they can't run from this anymore. Whatever this justice represents, whether this is somebody that maybe had to get taken away and go to jail, go to rehab, like whatever karmic justice they received for this situation, I feel like things are really about to be balancing out for this person. Whoever they are, King of Swords energy, again, we're going into Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air energy, right? So this is somebody that is very head over heart. And I feel like this person really, if anybody that's trying to get over any sort of addiction has to step into the energy of somebody that is disciplined, okay? Somebody that is able to take their bias and judgment out of situations, somebody that is able to be truthful and honest, especially with themselves, okay? And because of that fact, this person, because of the fact that they're making plans, that they're actually striving for things, they're actually thinking about the future and what they want for the future, and they're actually taking action after those things, I feel like there's a lot of balance coming into this person's life. Let things play out as they have to. This is a pause period, especially with the Hangman coming out and that death card being inverted. This person has to experience whatever this is. Nobody can get in the way, and I really feel like whoever that Queen of Wands represents, this person is going to be coming to you and telling you about this because they want your support, your moral support. There's something really significant about this person waking up, okay? They're going to be overcoming any hurdles that they may have felt were in the way of whatever this plan is. Whatever they are coming to tell you, whatever they're planning, whatever their thoughts are for the future towards this Queen of Wands, they adore you, okay? And they view you as somebody that is in a very open and non-judgmental energy. They believe that they can come to you, and like, I feel like the energy that you are in, this is going to actually open up a lot of intimacy for you guys, especially when it comes to like emotional intimacy with being able to be vulnerable for somebody that has a very hard time possibly opening their heart up to situations or opening themselves up to somebody. I feel like this is a really good combination of somebody that is able to hold space for somebody that may be very guarded, right? So yeah, that is a beautiful reading, you guys. That's beautiful energy. I'm so proud of everybody that is working hard to get themselves out of this sticky situation, is what I just heard. But yeah, this collective has definitely made me proud. I love you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed night. Bye.